Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing something a little different here. Instead of unboxing and reviewing a tech product, I wanted to share my thoughts on one of this year's most sought after tech devices, the Steam Deck. Now, I was lucky enough to get my hands on one before the December holiday rush, and I have plenty of hours that I've sunk into it, mostly due to getting COVID. But I'm not going to go over the specs and battery life here or anything like that in depth, since there are plenty of videos out there on that topic. What I wanted to do was give you all my humble opinion on the Steam Deck from a regular, everyday person who has no sponsors or any incentive to give this positive feedback. There are plenty of YouTubers out there that claim they are average consumers of tech products, yet they are sponsored by that same company to provide them a free review copy. Now, I'm not bashing on anyone specifically, I just noticed the trend where sponsored products tend to get more positive, biased feedback, and I wanted to provide you all with an unbiased opinion on the Steam Deck. So with that out of the way, this video will mostly be me talking, so stay a while, listen, and let's get started. Now, as with all tech products that I purchase, from the budget products that you've all seen all the way to the super expensive, there's always one question as a consumer that I ask myself: why do I want or need this? Now, I don't purchase things willy-nilly. There's always a method to my madness, and is pretty much what guides my spending on tech products. Now, after determining why I would want or need this product, what is my purpose in purchasing? What will I use it for? Will I use it for how it's intended? Lastly, payment. For those of us who work regular 9-to-5s and aren't YouTube millionaires yet, how much will this really set me back financially, if even? Well, today I will go over all of these and then some with regards to the Steam Deck. Just to recap, the Steam Deck here is essentially a portable PC that you can use to play about 90% of your Steam games. Now, I say 90% as there are a lot of old, indie, or not as well-known games that are 100% compatible with the Steam Deck. There are 4 categories of how you can tell if your Steam game is compatible. Each game has a category rating of compatible, playable, unplayable, and untested. So just be aware that games listed under the category of compatible or playable can be enjoyed through the Steam Deck, with the playable category having some slight caveats to the game or gameplay changes, such as having to activate the virtual keyboard, or games that require a mouse will have you using the haptic sensors to simulate a mouse. Why did I want a Steam Deck? Well, a couple of reasons. Chief among them was to provide this unbiased review on it. Another was that I'm a huge fan of portable gaming. Ever since I fell in love with the Game Boy Advance, I've always been on the lookout for handheld gaming consoles and figured this would be a perfect addition to my already large collection. Another reason is that my significant other and I are big-time gamers. We have our own rigs set up in our PC room, and some of our time spent together is simply being in the same room playing our own games. I mean, yeah, we do play games with each other from time to time, but there are days when our interests in games just aren't the same, and we play what we want. With that said, I wanted to still play my PC games while being in the same room with my significant other, whether it be in our living room while she's watching TV, but most importantly, I wanted to play my PC games while we are in bed trying to fall asleep. Sometimes you just want to be in the same room with your significant other, but still doing your own thing. And lastly, I wanted the Steam Deck because there are just a lot of genres and a lot of games that are more enjoyable in handheld form as opposed to a mouse and keyboard or even a controller. The very first RPG that I ever played on a handheld was Fire Emblem for the Game Boy Advance. The game just felt so perfect for a handheld. I could pretty much game on it anywhere and any time that I wanted to. But my favorite time to game was when it was my bedtime, since I wasn't allowed to do anything else as a kid but go to sleep during that time. Now, I've spent plenty of nights enjoying RPGs, Metroidvanias, and visual novel style games when the DS came along. But don't get me wrong, I do enjoy playing these types of games on consoles, such as on all the PlayStations, not so much on the Xbox or anything else, but that's a whole nother story for another time. Through the years, I've just become accustomed to playing certain games on a handheld device, and for me, it just makes a lot of sense. Recent games such as the new Fire Emblem series for the 3DS and the Switch, to the visual novel styles of Deathmark, to RPGs like Bravely Default for the 3DS and Switch, Dragon Quest series, Xenoblade, Zelda, and plenty more, just make sense when played through a handheld. Did I mention roguelites? Roguelites are also good on handhelds. Okay, enough of my rant and back to the Steam Deck. So, right off the bat, you may be wondering which option is the best for you. Now, for myself, I chose the 256GB model as opposed to the 512GB, as the 512 is $120 more than the 256, and you're essentially just paying for double the storage, which is also supposedly faster than the 256GB model. I'm not looking to use the Steam Deck to replace my PC, so I don't need that large of a storage to house my games. Also, you're able to upgrade this with a micro SD card and even an M.2 with up to 2 terabytes of storage, so why pay more when you can do all of this? Next, take a look at the games you'd like to play on a handheld. You all know which games I prefer. For me, playing first-person shooters or any other game that requires quick and precise reflexes are pretty much out of the picture, so Modern Warfare and any other games like it, it's not something I'm going to be playing with on the Steam Deck. Now, you could be different. Maybe you have reflexes and twitches like a cat and can play and enjoy those types of games on a handheld, but not for me. Along with that, you also need to consider if the games you'd like to play portably are even supported by the Steam Deck. I would say if you're able to confirm 10 to 20 games you can play on the Steam Deck, then it will be definitely worth your while. Also, as an aside, if you haven't noticed yet, I always take care of my electronic devices, especially the portable ones. For the Steam Deck, I have installed a glass screen protector, vinyl covering, as well as a hard plastic cover for the back. There are plenty of other accessories you can use for your Steam Deck, but I prefer the ones that protect it and also add a little flair to it. Now for some pros and cons that I've noticed with my many hours, thanks COVID, with the Steam Deck. Pro number 1, battery life. I know this device is still new and with every charge it degrades, blah blah blah, but at 100% charge and with the brightness setting down to 0 since I mostly play at night, I've gotten 5 hours of continuous play and the battery only went down to 30%. Pro number 2, the sound. Surprisingly, the sound is pretty damn good coming from these speakers. And the sound of the Steam Deck is like it is clear and crisp and has some bass to it, but it's not too much since it is a handheld. But definitely, if you were to compare this to every other handheld out there on the market, especially the Switch, it pretty much blows the Switch right out of the water. Pro number 3, visual clarity. I was actually surprised by how clear the visuals were. I didn't have any issue seeing any items in any of my games or anything blurry like that. Although not 4K quality, it is still pretty good for a handheld, definitely better than the original Switch. I can attest to how it compares to the Switch OLED since I refuse to replace my old Switch with just a purely visual upgrade since it's pretty much the same specs. Pro number 4, it plays 90% of the games I want to play. Now, like I mentioned earlier, it depends on you and what games you would like to play, but as for me, the Steam Deck is compatible or at least playable for a number of games that I would like to enjoy. Now, on to the cons. Con number 1, weight. Yeah, this thing is big and heavy, coming in at 1.65 pounds without any accessories. In comparison, the Switch only weighs 0.71 pounds. So, in the long term gaming fatigue department, the Switch definitely wins hands down. Now, for me, I experienced hand fatigue at around the 30-minute mark laying down gaming on my side. It is a lot better while you're sitting upright, but not by a lot. You'll definitely get fatigue simply holding this. Con number two, button layout, specifically the thumbsticks. Now, the thumbsticks are super responsive, so no issue there. However, they are placed kind of awkwardly as they are both in line with each other and at the top of the console. Now, why they didn't choose opposing thumbsticks is beyond me, but it is a bit difficult to use both thumbsticks. Even just one thumbstick is difficult to use, and I found myself having to reposition my hands each time I wanted to use a thumbstick, which is why, in my opinion, first person shooters are not viable using the Steam Deck, at least for me, they're not. I can see this as a huge issue to those who have smaller hands, as you really would need to stretch your thumb to use the thumbsticks if you do end up using the thumbsticks. Con number three, charging times. Now, I mentioned before that I was able to get about 5 hours of playtime with the battery going from 100% down to 30%. However, charging this thing takes as much as 1 to 2 hours, and even then, when I had charged it from 30%, it was only about 98% when I took it off the charger. Of course, you can game with this plugged in, but that's not good for these devices as it will degrade the battery faster since you are using and charging it at the same time. Bonus number one, if you pair the Steam Deck with wireless earbuds such as the Black Shark T10, it makes it sound so much better. Trust me. Bonus number two, if you can afford a Steam Deck docking station, which I would highly recommend you not purchase the official Steam one since that's $90 and there are other budget-friendly docks out there for half the cost with more I/O ports. You can hook this up to an HDMI and even an internet cable and enjoy 4K resolutions on a TV or monitor with a controller. I'll be putting up a review soon with a controller that I found that works perfect for the Steam Deck. So, is the Steam Deck worth it? For me, I can definitely say that this is a great purchase. I'm using it as intended, I'm getting to play the games that I want, and it did not set me back financially. Now, I hope this unbiased regular guy review on the Steam Deck will help you decide if this is something you'd like to purchase for Christmas. Well, at the time of the video release, it's December, or just purchase in general. I hope that my views and opinions mattered somehow. Again, I'm not saying to go out and give Valve your money. I just wanted to give you a real heads up on what to expect. Alright everyone, thank you so much for watching, actually more listening, to my unbiased review of the Steam Deck. I really hope this was informative and it helps you decide on whether or not this is a good product for you to purchase. Thank you all for watching, I'll see you in the next one, and happy holidays.